Okay guys, today we will continue working on surface area of prisms. Know that you can pause and rewind this video as you need so that you can follow along. Now there are a couple of things that I want to make sure that you have on your desk so that you can follow along and refer back to as you're practicing on your own. The first thing is your notebook, and it should be open to this page so that you have all of the steps that you will need in order to find the surface area of prisms. The next thing that should be on your desk is your 8th grade star chart so that you have access to all of the formulas for area. So every single time you see a capital B, that is for area of the base. So you have to come back up here and get a formula for that depending on the shape of the base. And you have here the formula for surface area of a prism, and right now we're working with total. So it is capital P times H plus 2 times capital B. Capital P stands for perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. So those are the two things that you should have with you. Now here is the handout that you guys are going to be working on today. Now I will do 3 examples with you. I will do number 2, number 3, and number 4. So you have an example of each shape to refer back to as you're working through the handout, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Now step 1, if you follow along in our list of steps that is on your notebook, is to shade both bases. So let's look at number 2. So what is the base? You guys have to think about what is the name of your shape, and remember that the first name of your shape gives you the base. So this is a triangular prism. So let me go ahead and write it down just in case. That means that my base is a triangle. So here we go. So I should be shading that and that. There we go. So that's going to let you know that that is the base. Our second step is to redraw our base with all of the needed numbers. So you're going to go into your extra sheet of paper because there's not enough space here for you to show the work. So I want every single work and every single problem worked out on a separate sheet of paper. So we're going to redraw the base. So here we go. Here's the right angle. Now the right angle tells you a lot. It actually identifies the base and the height for you. Now I know that this is 2.8, this is 2, and this is 2. Okay, so we have redrawn our base. Step number 3 is to find capital P. Now capital P stands for perimeter of the base. Perimeter. So think about what perimeter means. There is no formula for perimeter. Perimeter means that we're going to add all of the sides on the outside. So I'm going to add 2.8 plus 2 plus 2. So if we take our calculators that all of you should have with you, and go ahead and add. And I will show you guys what my calculator looks like. That way you guys can double check that you're inputting the right numbers. 2.8 plus 2 plus 2 is 6.8. Okay, so that takes care of perimeter. That takes care of step 3 of our notes. Step 4 of our notes is to find capital B. Now capital B stands for area of the base. Think about what shape your base is, and it is a triangle. So let's go back up here. Here it is. This is where we get capital B, and we need a triangle. So we're going to go here, and this is the formula that I need. 1/2 times base times height. 1/2 times base times height. So we will need 1/2, and we need to figure out what the base and the height of the triangle is. Remember that I had mentioned that it makes a perfect square, a perfect T. perfect intersection. It cannot be slanted. So here's your base and here's your height. So times 2 times 2. If you have a right angle, right, the one that makes the perfect corner, the perfect square, the two lines that make that right angle, that's your base and your height, always. So we can go ahead and take the calculator. And we can calculate 1/2 times 2 times 2. And that will give us 2. Now we are not finished yet. All that you have figured out is the perimeter of the base and the area of the base. Remember that our goal is to find the surface area of our prism. So that takes us to the last step. Remember that we're skipping step 5 because we're adding total surface area. We're not finding lateral, we're adding total. So let's go ahead and find our formula for surface area of a prism, and we want total. So here's the formula that we want. So surface area equals perimeter of the base times the height of the prism plus 2 times the area of the base. Now we just have to put numbers to this. Surface area equals perimeter of the base. What is the perimeter of the base? This is what you calculated right here. So it'll be 6.8 times height. This height is the height of the prism. This is the only time that you're going to go back to your original shape. Remember that the height of the prism is how far away are my two bases? How far away are my two triangles? This is why you're shading both bases, so that you can figure out, it can help you figure out how far away the two shaded shapes are, and they are 4 millimeters apart. Plus 2 times, and then capital B is area of the base, which we found right here. So it's times 2. Now the last thing for you to do is to literally input this on the calculator exactly as you see it. 6.8 times 4 plus 2 times 2. And that'll be 31.2. That is millimeters squared. And that is your final answer. So that's how we do the shapes that look like number 2, a triangular prism. Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 3. Now number 3 can be a bit deceiving because this worksheet actually started shading some of the shapes, but remember that we have to go by the name of the shape, and this is a triangular prism. Which means the base is a triangle. So I'm not going to shade the bottom part, I'm going to shade my triangles. Okay. Now step 2 is to redraw the base with all the needed numbers. Let's go ahead and have it like this. So here's my triangle. The base is 7. Look how it has a little right angle right here. That is pointing out the height of the triangle, which is 5. So this line is 5. See how there's a little arrow pointing to it? So when it comes to area, I know that this is going to be the base and this is going to be the height because they form a right triangle. Now I need to figure out what these two sides are, and we have it right here. It's a 6.1. So this is 6.1 and this is 6.1. Okay? So that is what we need as far as the triangle. Now for our next step, we need to find the perimeter of our triangle. Remember that perimeter is when we add all of the outside. So 1, 2, 3. I have a triangle, which means I'm adding 3 sides. not 4. You're not adding all the numbers together. Only the ones that refer to the outside. So 1, 2, and 3. So 6.1 plus 6.1 plus 7. So only the outside. Let's go ahead and put this on our calculator. And we're going to get that our perimeter is 19.2. That is the perimeter of the base. Now step 4 is to find the area of the base. So let's think again about what shape we have. We have a triangle, which means you have to go back to your star chart and find the area of the triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. So I have the 1/2. Now remember that the base and the height make a perfect intersection. The perfect square are right angle. That's how I know what the base and the height is. And let's go ahead and do that on our calculator. 1/2 times 5 times 7. And sometimes it does give you a fraction. Let's go ahead and turn that into a decimal so that we can work a little bit better that way. Remember that you can do this 2 ways. You can either click on Math and select Decimal and click Enter. Or we know that the fraction bar is a division, so we can do 35 divided by 2, and it gives us the same answer. So it's 17.5. That is our area of the base. Now again, we are not done. We are going to our last step because we want to find total surface area. So go ahead and use your star chart. Let's go to surface area of a prism and we want total. So this is the formula that we want. We have perimeter of the base times the height of the prism plus 2 times the area of the base. Now perimeter of the base, we already found that. That is up here, so all you have to do is just refer back to the work that you did before. 19.2 times, remember that this is the height of the prism. This is the one time you're going to look back at your original shape. And the height of the prism is how far away the 2 bases are, how far away my 2 triangles are. And they are 13 inches apart. Now it's 2 times the area of the base, which we have found before as well. Here it is, 17.5. Now all that's left to do is for us to just put this on our calculator. Make sure that you're putting pluses and multiplication signs where they belong. And here we go. 19.2 times 13 plus 2 times 17.5, and we will get 284.6, and we have inches squared. Don't forget your units, and this is our final answer. So now we've gone over 2 of the examples for triangular prisms. Okay, our last shape that I will go over with in this video is number 4. Now remember, we need to shade both bases, so we're going to go by the name of the shape. This is a rectangular prism. So I know that the shape will be a rectangle, so I need to shade the rectangles. So there's a rectangle here, and the rectangle up here. These are my 2 bases, top and bottom. Okay, now step number 2 is to redraw the base with the numbers that I need. Okay, mark this here for reference. So for number 4, I need to draw a rectangle. And I need to make sure that I put the numbers that go with this rectangle. So look closely to what you have shaded. I know that this is 10. And let's look closely. This side will be 8. The 3 is just telling you how far apart those two bases are. That'll come into play later. But the numbers that go with our base are 10 and 8. There's that right angle there again to let us know that that's the base and the height of my base. So 10 and 8. Okay. Now our next step is to find the perimeter of the base. Remember that in order to find perimeter, you have to add all of the sides. So if I have a shape that has 4 sides, we're not just going to do 10 plus 8. I have 4 sides, which means I have to add 4 numbers. So I know that if this is 8, this is 8, and if this is 10, this is 10. So I need to add all 4 sides, not just the 2 that they give me. It is you guys' job to put in the missing numbers. Okay, and let's go ahead and add those up. And we will get 36 for our perimeter of the base. Now our step number 4 is to find the area of the base. Now notice in this case, unlike the other 2 examples, our base is different. This time our base is a rectangle. So you need to go back to your star chart and find area of a rectangle. So we're going to use this formula, just base times height. So we're only multiplying 2 numbers, my base and the height. My base is 10 and the height is 8. Okay, so 10 times 8, that will be 80. Okay, and again, we're not done yet. Remember, our final goal is to find surface area. So we're going to go to our very last step and find the formula for surface area. Here we go, surface area, prism. And we're doing total. So here's our formula. Surface area equals perimeter of the base times the height of the prism plus 2 times the area of the base. Now we need to go ahead and put in numbers for this. P stands for perimeter of the base. We already found it up here. 36 times H stands for the height of the prism. So remember, this is the one time that we go back to our original shape and we figure out how far away are those 2 bases that I shaded. They are 3 yards away. They're 3 yards apart. Times 3 plus 2 times, and now I need area of the base. You already found it up here. So it's times 80. And now we just put everything on the calculator. 36 times 3 plus 2 times 80. And we get 268. And that'll be yards squared. Make sure you put your units on your final answer. Okay, so now you have 3 examples. So you should be able to refer back to. In order to do the rest of the handout, you have triangular prisms. It's a cube. You follow the exact same method as you do for the rectangular prism. And we've done both examples with the triangular prisms. So whatever is not completed during class, it is homework. This video will also be posted on Schoology, so you can refer back to it if you're at home doing homework and you need a little bit of extra help. Have a great day.